Happy New Year to my loyal Low Tech Garage followers. I hope you all had an awesome holiday. We are back in the shop today, per usual, and we have another project that we're going to be knocking out. And on today's episode, our loyal OBS Ford Blue Steel is back in the shop, and we are going to be finishing some of the interior updates to get him ready to put in plenty more work for 2026. So let me take you over and show you kind of what we're going to be working on here today to get these things sorted out, and hopefully you find this useful yourself. We're going to start here on the driver's side, and as you can see, we have a broken door card here. It's pretty busted up. It's even through the trim. The door pull here is actually coming off, and then this is actually not attached, which is a pretty common thing on the OBS's. The bracket breaks in the door card. And big thing here, the door handle itself is broken. So I'm suspicious that there's a little more going on to this than meets the eye. We'll take a look once we get the door card off, but we're going to address all of this at once. And as the door card is coming off, you can see this outer seal here, after 30 years of Florida sun, is basically non-existent. So we're going to be replacing this as well. And I actually do have a new replacement door latch. This has been jamming recently. Some of it's because the door is sagging, which we're going to address as well, but it jams and the door will not latch whatsoever. So I have a new latch mechanism with cable, everything that'll go with the new door handle. So the whole mechanism for this driver's door will be brand new. Also, I have a complete new lock set for the truck. Basically, I have to use two different keys to get in and start the truck, and one of them is extremely worn, which I'm sure you OBS guys know all about. And I said, you know what, while this is all torn apart, let's put a lock set in. Ignition and doors, so it uses one key and is not worn out completely. This gives you guys an idea of what I mean by worn out. This is what a normal key should look like. So as you can see, after 30 years, there's not much left. And the final thing I'll be doing as well, I will actually be adding keyless entry to the truck. Now, some of you guys know that these trucks, some were optioned with keyless entry. If your truck came with that, it's super easy. You can buy a $10 fob off of Amazon or eBay, and you can program it in a couple of minutes, and you're back in business. My truck, unfortunately, did not come with that, so I bought a kit that we're gonna add aftermarket keyless entry to the truck as well. I'll show you how to do that, and I can show you where to get it from in case that's something you're interested in if you're doing a project similar to me. So as you can see, quite a few things that need to be knocked out to get these doors back in business and serviceable and as nice as the rest of the cab. So no better time than now to get started. So we're going to start on the passenger side. This is not as beat up as the driver's door, but as you can see, we do have some holes here, and we have a lot of sun damage on the top. But nonetheless, I'm going to get this thing off. We're going to actually hook up the keyless entry on this side. I also want to do the outer window seal as well. So we're going to do both sides just to really elevate the condition of the cab inside the truck. So let's get started. And you can find a broken piece already. Kind of how I was saying, this is pretty common on these. It'd be nice to have less broken stuff. These are just factory screws. I think get in here as well. I believe, yeah, we've got a couple hiding down at the bottom. We got one in the door rest right here. But I think that's about all it takes to get this out. This is the 4 at the bottom. I think there is some wiring for a door light for this guy. Yeah, so I just took the light bulb out here. I think this just clips in Oh, I lied. There's one more screw before we start yanking on stuff. Because this is broken, I'm going to take the cover off. Do some repairs here. But there's 3 screws. We should be able to just take this cover off like so. So they just go here, here, and here. And again, you know, this is all 30-year-old plastic, so just remember it's brittle. There she goes. There we go. Kind of cool, we still have all our vapor barrier and everything from the factory, so not that common on these trucks. I'm probably gonna give this a wipe down, you know, simple green project, get all this dust and dirt off. I've really been doing that on the whole interior of the truck. The idea is just, I assume this stuff kind of smells and I want to just get any of this out of the truck. Not gonna lie guys, seeing this original factory paint on the inside, I absolutely love this color. Just to me, peak 90s, can't go wrong with it. And seeing it all nice and clean, even though it's gonna be hidden again, super awesome. So on this passenger side, next up, we're gonna deal with this seal. This one's actually nowhere near as bad as the driver's side, but I did buy a pair of them. So we're gonna get this out. Step 1, I'm gonna get this window lowered down so we can get this out, and then we'll see what we have to do next. Down she goes, certainly dirty. There we go. All right, well, let's get the new one. I think I'm gonna, same deal, just clean this real quick. The goal is just to get all the dirt out so we get a nice seal on the new one. All right, so you find us on the inside of the door here. What you can see are these openings here. And I have my nice new trim. And basically these clips need to snap into those openings. So we just got to pop them in and we'll be good to go. It's making my truck creak. I don't know if you guys can hear that. All right, well that went in nice and easy. Let's try with the power window here. Oops. There she goes. There you have it. So real nice. Install there. Seals really nice along the top of the door. So that'll kind of protect things, and we have a really nice tight seal along the window glass again, which is also great when it comes to kind of managing rainwater and stuff like that. All right, next item we're gonna tackle. I'm gonna change the lock cylinder here. First step, and I can kind of show you this tab right here, we need to pull out. There we go. So that's this spring tab that holds the lock cylinder in place. And now you can start working it out like so. This does have a little gasket on it, and it is connected inside to a rod. So we just want to be careful as we kind of pull this out that we can get it on the rod with the replacement one. So here it is again. As you can see, the rod is still visible. So my goal is to get the new cylinder on the rod as well, and then that way we can slide it back in without having to fish around in the door to do this. All right, well here's the one removed. Unfortunately the rod kind of dropped inside the door as I lifted it up. Kind of as I mentioned, this is the little gasket. You want this, it just kind of stops water getting in. The new kit I got comes with that. Okay, so I found the rod. Here it is right here. You can probably see I actually have a little pair of needle nose pliers going through the slot where the locking spring was that held the cylinder in. and it's just pushing this forward. Kind of recommend this as a tip so you don't lose this inside the door. Make your life a little bit easier when doing the job. Okay, so we are attached to the rod, and now we should be able to slowly turn the cylinder like so. There she goes. And the idea is that it'll rotate round on the rod, and there you have it. Okay guys, a little bit of a struggle with the new lock, everything not being worn. What I did with these needle nose pliers, I basically slid it behind there, and then it gave me something to just kind of hammer on with my fist without damaging the clip. Put the key in, like so. That's what I'm talking about. All right guys, well that was some good progress. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna actually jump over to the driver's door. We're gonna get the door card off. The one that I showed you was really busted up. I'm gonna get the lock cylinder off. I'm gonna pull that window seal out. All things you saw me do on the other door. And then we're gonna start investigating kind of the latch mechanism that hasn't been behaving properly. So you guys will find me over here with the door kind of stripped down to where the other door was, and then we'll pick up where we left off. All right guys, well this is the driver's door. Not as nice behind here. Someone's ripped off the vapor barrier before, and as you can see, it is super dirty as well. Here's our broken door handle. So yeah, we have quite a lot of work to do. All right, so I'm actually gonna start removing the door latch mechanism on the side. I have a whole brand new one. As you can see, it's been repaired here. The handle broke again, and I recall that this is the side that also has the split in the door. It's a very common failure point on these OBSs. So I'm gonna get this removed, and then I can kind of show you the damage that we're gonna be repairing while we do this as well. The metal here is cracked. And what that means is when you pull your door handle up, this whole piece of the door is flexing. So I have a repair kit that I'll show you here in a minute, and that will repair this. In the meantime, I'm gonna work on getting the rest of the lock mechanism out. So I elected for a ratchet instead of the electric screwdriver on this. Probably a good approach. You definitely don't wanna strip these out. Give yourself a world of hurt. So we've got everything torn apart. The door is disassembled, and now we're going to address the cracking here. Basically, this piece is no longer attached at all. And what would happen, like I mentioned before, is when you pull the door handle, this whole piece would flex and the latch would not operate correctly. So I purchased this repair kit. I can put a link in the description below if anyone's interested in it. But basically, this is a nice rigid piece of steel. You can overlay it like so, and then we have to, where all these holes are, drill and then rivet this in place, and this will give us a nice solid repair that equally the handle will mount to and function as anticipated. So next up, I'm going to just mark where these holes need to go, and then we will get to drilling. All right, so you can probably see I've got this mark right here, and I have one right here. This is the initial holes I'm going to drill so we can get the bracket mounted. All right, so now this is attached. I'm gonna drill out here, here. We've got 3 across the bottom as well. So we'll get that done, and then we're gonna run rivets through there. This is a nice, really strong repair panel now that we'll be able to mount our new door handle to. So as you can see, we got 3 rivets here, 3 here, and 2 here for a total of 8. So this is really on there and structural to the door. This is the old versus new door latches. So we got the old one I took out here. You can see all the rods on it. Here's the new one. Comes with a nice new cable and the latch assembly that your handle mounts to. What we have to do here, we have to get all these rods off, as well as the door popper here, and basically transfer that all over here. The other nice thing, it does come with new screws, which as you guys saw, a couple of mine were a little rounded off, so this is a nice touch too. I'll put a link in the description below for where I got this from, if anyone's interested as well. Here it is all assembled. As you saw, just a little fiddly with this rod. I found that taking this clip out, putting it on here first, and then kind of squeezing it through is the best way. Everything else is pretty straightforward though, and is all latched in. This is our electric door lock actuator. So I want to get all this as one assembly, and then we got to start the fun of snaking it back inside the door. And for those that are interested, this is for your key lock cylinder. This is for your door handle exterior. And then this is basically the pin that pops up through the door card. And then like I mentioned, this is your electric door actuator. So when you use the power locks inside the truck. All right, folks, well, quick update. Latch is in. It's pretty hard to show in here. I hope you saw on the time lapse. There you go. So you can see the electronic door actuator. This thing's honestly one of the more tricky things to put in there. And then all the rods in place. So here's my new key lock cylinder. Showed you how to do that on the other side. And then I think hopefully if I tilt up, you can kind of see the one with the yellow, that's the door handle. And then the one in front of us, that's just the pin that pops up through the door card. I'll show you something too that I ended up removing that made it so much easier to get the mechanism in and out. We'll see when I put it back in. Hopefully I don't regret doing this, but thought I'd share it because yeah, getting the install was 10 times easier because of this. And that was removing the window track. I had already undone the bolt, but actually kind of inadvertently by wiggling this around, it dropped out. The seal is still there, the kind of fuzzy bit that the glass runs in, but this got out of the way and I was able to get everything out so much easier. So honestly, the next step I have is to put this back in, and then I think that'll be job done with the latch mechanism. All right, well, I got the locating pin in for the door cylinder. That took me like 25 minutes of wrestling. It just did not want to go in, but we're in now. When we come around here, nice new lock cylinder with the new key set. So that is job done. It is time to move on to the keyless entry. And for the keyless entry, there's two options you really have on the OBSs. Basically, some trucks came equipped with keyless entry with a fob from the factory. Those actually would have like a little module under the dash. And it can be, like I mentioned, I think earlier in the video, as simple as buying a $10 key fob, program it to the truck, you're good to go. If you did not have that, you can't really just retrofit the factory module. Apparently the dash harness is completely different. So what I've done is purchase this aftermarket kit, and I'm gonna be wiring it basically into the electric door locks so that we have a fob and have keyless entry. So you find me here with the 2 window switches, and then this is the door lock, and you can hear them. Very agricultural, but locking, unlocking the doors. And what I've started doing, and generally I'm not a huge proponent of these wire taps, but I did not want to mess around with this old switch, trying to mess with the pins or anything. It's all brittle plastic. But I basically put these 2 wire taps in, and if I spin it this way, let's see. And so what we're doing here, the black white wire right here, this black white wire right here is 12 volt, and then the black that's right here is ground. So I'm going to tap into that for our power supply, and my goal is to keep this whole module inside the door so we don't have to mess with running wires inside the cab. All right, folks, well, this is my 3rd iteration on the keyless entry, and I've finally got it figured out. And I'll start by saying I ordered some of these fuse taps. Definitely recommend them. They're great. They actually plug right into your fuse board. You can retain the original fuse for the circuit right here, and then you can add your additional fuse right here. So this is what I did. So I had a fuse in line for my keyless, and then I have right here the original fuse. So I'm going to take you over to the fuse panel, show you where I plugged it in to get this working. And that would be right here. It's actually where we have one of these larger, almost like circuit breaker style fuses. And this is actually tapped right in where the keyless entry would work in the factory system. So that's kind of why I chose it. So I have the original, fuse circuit breaker right here, and actually tucked just behind it is the other fuse. And then, yeah, this fuse tap basically runs behind the dashboard, and we go over to the passenger footwell where I can show you how everything else is tapped together. And here we are back in the kick panel footwell area. And really the only thing I've changed, this white wire is tapped into the fuse tap that I just showed you that goes in the panel. It just runs across the back of the dashboard under the dash. I eliminated the fuse here because now we already have one at the panel that's dedicated to this. And yeah, everything else wiring wise is the same. These 2 yellow wires are the trigger, the positive trigger to the module, which is required for the OBS. And then, like I showed you, the 2 white wires, that's your unlock and lock. And they are just tapped in these first 2 wires right here. You can still see I have the little tap on the black white wire for power. I'm going to remove that, and then I'm going to get this all tucked nicely back in the kick panel. So I'll show you what that looks like once it's complete. And to show this in action for you guys, so we're locked right now. Hit the unlock button. There she goes. And we can hit the lock button. There she goes. So quick follow-up. I was able to tuck all the harness basically back down inside the kick panel now. These are all plugged back how they should be. And so now we can just slot the kick panel back in, and it will go right back in its factory location. And there'll be no evidence of the keyless system. And because I always seem to get sucked down the rabbit hole, I have one last task I want to do in the cab of the truck, and that is where we're going to call it quits for this project. And that is here. It looks like someone's changed the carpet in the truck at some point before, which is fine. But as I'm going to such lengths to get dust, dirt, grime out of the cab to really just kind of make it smell fresh and clean, I decided let me pull the bench seat out. I want to vacuum under here. I'm going to shampoo the carpet and give it a chance to dry out so that this is nice and clean. And here we have the original bench seat, which honestly is in remarkably good condition, but you can kind of see there's some dirty marks on the back on each of the sides of the seats, especially the driver's side. So I'm going to give it the same treatment, just really shampoo it, give it a best chance to come back to its former glory. So I'm sure that's going to take me some time, but let's get started. Okay, so we have a nice vacuumed foundation to start with. So I'm gonna get the carpet shampooer set up and we're gonna work our way across the rug, just get any dirt and grime that we can out of this thing. All right guys, well, there you have it. Freshly shampooed carpet. As you probably saw in the tank, there's definitely some dirty water coming out of this. So hopefully a little bit more fresh. I actually have one of those ozone machines, so I may run that inside the cab with the door shut just for a couple of hours, just to help with any other remaining odors. But I think this is a very good first step and really getting us to a point where, you know, the cab, it's not brand new, but it's definitely a really nice place to be again. And now for the really fun one. Let's get over to the bench seat and give that thing a good scrub too. I have a feeling there's gonna be some seriously dirty water coming out of this and it's gonna take a few goes, but I'm excited to see what the results are. Thought I'd take a quick pause to show you guys what's coming out of this seat. So yeah, I think it was worth doing this. Gonna give the seat base at least one more go over, maybe another one for now. All right guys, well that was quite a bit of work. I definitely spent probably at least an hour doing that. And as you can see, honestly, there was still quite a lot of dirt coming out of the seat, but I did not want to get that thing saturated. So my plan here, we're gonna let this dry, we're gonna let the carpet dry, and I'll probably do this a few more times just as time goes on, periodically giving it a shampoo. And the goal will be to just slowly but surely lift more and more of that dirt out of the truck. So next time we meet, you're gonna see the completed interior and how we've been able to elevate it from the condition it was with all these new repairs and features. So I'll see you guys in a minute and I can't wait to share the finished product. And here it is, folks, all back together. We have our shampooed seat looking a lot more bright. We have our shampooed carpet. We have our kick panel back in. And on the driver's side, we have a lovely condition replacement door card. I'll take you over there in a minute so you can check it out in more detail. And then you can see from our previous video, the new dash bezel is in, our lovely new dash pad. And then when we come over here, we also have a replacement door panel on this side. Admittedly, the old one wasn't that bad, but this one is in just that much better shape as well. And here's the replacement door card on the driver's side. This is used, so it is not perfect, but if you recall, my old one was completely split across the top, and so was the trim. So now we have a nice non-split top. Also the armrest here, perfect shape, nicely attached. My old one was basically peeling off, and actually, I'm not sure if we covered this on the removal, but this was all missing on my old one. And so this is a OEM replacement I got. So we have all the new plastics here. It all fits nice and tight. There's no rattling, anything like that. The door lights work. We have our new door handle down here that works like it should. And it's been reinforced, as you saw as well. And then we have these lovely new hockey stick seals on the outside here and good seals on the inside. to really keep the weather out and seal up nicely against the glass as well. And just one more view for you guys from the other side, showing you what we're working with now. I have to say, I'm super thrilled with how this turned out. And I even have this old thing lurking on an engine stand that some of you guys may have seen in the background, but more on that in an upcoming video. But definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It really helps me out, and definitely drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the restoration of the interior. Let me know if that keyless entry system helped you out as well. It's certainly gonna be a nice upgrade for me, especially not having factory keyless. Also, as you can see, we got other cars in the shop here. We got the Viper hiding back here, the 928 and the Mustang, all with videos coming out very, very soon as well. So with that, I'll see you guys all on the next episode.